Alright guys, welcome back. Hope you're having a good day so far. This is going to be a very different video from me. I am bringing you guys my class setups and my settings that I personally run here on Cold War. Now, of course, everybody has their own preference on what they run. My classes may be different from yours, my settings may be different from yours. But like I said, it's all personal preference. But if you're looking to try something different with a class that you may have seen in this video, you're more than welcome to do so. But this is going to give you guys a general idea of what I personally run and the reasoning behind why I run what I run on my setups and my settings. But let's not waste any more time and jump right to it. So for my classes, I have 2 for respawn and the rest are for search. Now, I don't really jump into respawn that much unless I want to work on camos for a certain weapon. And both of my respawn classes actually have a weapon that I'm working on camos for. But let's go ahead and get rolling. I have on the Groza for my assault rifle, which is a weapon that I never see in search anymore, and I don't understand why. It's a pretty viable weapon. People probably forgot about it. But for my attachments, I have on the S&D compensator to help with the recoil. Now, I stay away from the KGB eliminator because I don't want the nerf to the shooting move speed. Shooting move speed and bullet velocity are 2 of the most important factors that you want to build upon, in my opinion, whenever you're making your classes. And the nerf to the shooting move speed is the deal breaker for me, which is why I stay away from the KGB eliminator. So S&D compensator for that. I have on the reinforced barrel for my barrel because it gives the highest buff to the bullet velocity that you can get out of any of these barrels on this weapon. And on top of that, it even doubles your effective damage range, which is an added bonus there. Now, I don't really walk with my sights up, so the nerf to the aim walking movement speed doesn't really matter to me. And that slight nerf to the sprinting move speed is going to be negated by the patrol grip as well. 40 round speed mag for my mag. The 30 round mag by default isn't really enough for me, and I want to try to get back into a gunfight as quick as I can sometimes. So 40 round speed mag is the way to go. But if you don't want the nerf to the ADS, the 40 round drum mag is a pretty good choice as well. Or you can even use the Tate mag if you want to keep the 30 round mag. But for me, 40 round speed mag is the way to go. And I have on the Serpent grip for my handle. That'll negate the 20% ADS nerf and give me a little bit more on top of that. For my secondary, I have on the Sigma 2 because I don't want anybody having airstreaks up, so this will help me take those down easily. For my tactical, I have on the stim shot because if I were to survive a gunfight, I could just pop this and get right back into it. Lethal, I have a C4, that way I can try to get campers who are sitting in windows or by car or by jeep, stuff like that. Yes, I mainly play Nuketown when I play Respawn. Best map for camos. And for my field upgrade, this is actually going to depend on what I feel like doing. If I want to work on my detected kills, field mic. If I want to avoid nade spam when I'm capturing an objective, trophy system. And then I have on 6 perks thanks to perk greed. I have on tac mask and flak jacket. Tac mask, that way flashes and stuns don't affect me as much. I mean, those are kind of useless in this game anyway. And flak jacket, that way explosives have less of an effect on me. Gearhead and scavenger for my perk 2. Gearhead, that way I can get my field mic or trophy faster. And scavenger, in case I were to have a longer life, that way I don't have to worry about running out of ammo. Ninja and spycraft for my perk 3. Ninja, that way I can move quieter. And spycraft, that way I can hack enemy field upgrades, and any field mics that are placed down won't show me, and any gas mines that are placed won't be tripped by me either. For my SMG class, I have on the Bullfrog. I love this weapon. You may have seen this in my first video back, whenever I was playing on Crossroads with Pig Warden and a 6-man going for cross maps. I have on the Liberator barrel, the Patrol grip, Vandal speed loader, Serpent wrap, and no stock. Liberator barrel for the best bullet velocity bonus. The Patrol grip to help with the sprinting move speed and the sprint to fire. The Vandal speed loader because I feel like the 50 round mag I get by default is enough for me, and I want to have a quicker reload on this weapon. So Vandal speed loader is going to be the way to go for me. And that slight nerf to the ADS doesn't really matter because it's going to be hindered by the Serpent wrap anyway. And the Serpent wrap does hurt the sprint to fire, but the Patrol grip will negate that along with no stock. Now, the nerf to the hipfire accuracy doesn't really matter to me either, because I don't really hipfire that much. For my S&D classes, I have 2 rifle classes, one being my main, one being the one I swap around depending on what I want to use for a video, and same thing with my SMG. For my main assault rifle, I have on the XM4, very solid weapon. You really don't want to sleep on this. I actually made a video on this before the launch of Season 2, I believe? Or I think it was before the mid-Season 2 patch. I don't really remember off the top of my head. But for my attachments, I have on the Microflex LED because I'm not really a huge fan of the iron sights that you get with this weapon. The infantry compensator to help with the recoil, the ranger barrel for the best bullet velocity bonus, 40 round speed mag for the same reason as the Groza, and the serpent wrap to help with the ADS. For my secondary, I have on the E-tool because it gives you the fastest sprinting move speed in the game. Same tactical, but I have a different lethal than my respawn. I have on a frag because with some of my routes, I like to throw a frag in a common high traffic area to try to negate some of the trouble that I might face if I were to not throw a frag there. And then for my field upgrade, I have on the field mic. That will not change. That way I can have 2 sets of eyes. So let's say I want to cover both bomb sites. I can put my field mic down at one of them and then head on over to the other one to watch that myself. And then if I notice that my field mic gets tripped at the other bomb, I can just head on over there and challenge whoever's there. Now for my perks. These are slightly different than my respawn perks, but I still run perk greed. I replaced Tac Mask with Engineer because 1, people don't really use flashes or stuns in search, and 2, if someone were to put down a gas mine or a field mic, anything like that, I can see it exactly where it is and I can warn my team on whereabouts those are. That way they can be a little extra cautious whenever they go into that area. I have on Quartermaster just like Respawn, or I'm sorry, not just like Respawn. I have on Gearhead just like Respawn, I should say. But I replaced Scavenger with Quartermaster because Scavenger isn't really that necessary in search. This will let me get my nade back, and let's say somebody's camping and I notice them, I could just pop my nade back over there and just challenge them if it hits them. That way I can get the kill. Ninja is a must whenever you're playing search. Like, I promise you. Enemies will hear you a mile away if you don't have Ninja on when you're playing search, especially if you're in a 1v1 situation. And Spycraft, because again, field mics won't detect me, I can hack them, and gas mines won't trip whenever I near them. However, this does swap out to Ghost if I notice that an enemy on the opposing team were to have 1,000 score, because anytime I see that, I will always assume that they have a spy plane ready to go. For my SMG, I have on the LC-10. This is a solid weapon to run if you want to take a break from the 74U. But I have on here the sound suppressor, that way I can keep my shots off the radar. The nerf to the effective damage range isn't really that big of a deal because of the task force barrel that I run. Now, I actually used to run the ranger barrel, but I saw a video from Turboman who did the testing out of all of the barrels, and he found out that the bullet velocity bonus that it says on the ranger barrel is actually misleading. I'm actually going to leave that video down in the description for you guys. Definitely be sure to go check that out, and be sure to sub to Turboman as well. If you play Cold War and you don't watch him, you are doing yourself a disservice. I promise you that. For the underbarrel, I have on the patrol grip for the same reason as the Bullfrog on Respawn. Helps with the sprint to fire and the sprinting move speed. 55 round mag for the magazine, and then for the serpent wrap, I have that. Secondary AR, I currently have on the FARA. If you want to take a break from the XM4, then the FARA is a pretty solid choice. I have on the Microflex LED because I'm not a fan of the iron sights. The Spetsnaz compensator to help with the recoil. KGB eliminator hurts their shooting move speed just like on any of the other weapons, so that's why I stay away from it. Liberator barrel to give the best bullet velocity bonus. 40 round mag. I don't really want the nerf to the ADS on this because it's kind of slow to begin with. and Serpent Wrap to help with the ADS. Secondary SMG I have on the MP5, solid choice if you want to take a break from the 74U. I have on the Ranger Barrel, the Patrol Grip, the 40 round Speed Mag, the Serpent Grip, and no stock. The 40 round Speed Mag, the ADS nerf isn't that big of a deal. The ADS is kind of quick anyway, and the Serpent Wrap does help out with that a little bit. And no stock helps with the sprint to fire, just like I do with the Bullfrog. Tac Rifle, I don't really use Tac Rifles that much because I'm not really good with them. But when I do want to pull out a Tac Rifle, this is what I want to pull. Now, I did have my kill record with the AUG, which I'm going to have linked in the outro for you guys. But I want to make a video with the M16 sometime because this thing is busted. Like, if you are in the right place at the right time, one burst, one burst, one burst. I have on the Millstop Reflex because, again, iron sights are not really good for me. Titanium Barrel to help with the fire rate. The 45 round mag. I don't really want the nerf to the ADS because it's kind of slow anyway. The Serpent Wrap to help with the ADS. And I actually use the SAS Combat Stock to help with the shooting move speed. That way I can strafe a lot better with it. Dark Side, or the No Friends class. This is one that I pull out on extreme circumstances. Like, if I've had enough of people using toxic shit, I'll just be toxic right back to them and pull this class out. Stoner, I have on the Millstop Reflex because I'm not a fan of the iron sights. Task Force Barrel to help with the damage and the damage range. Damage range is solid anyway, but this will help out even more with it. Speed Grip, that way if I need to run with this out, in case I run into anybody while I'm running. Serpent Wrap, that way I can help with the ADS. And no stock to help with the sprint to fire, because again, I sometimes like to run with this weapon out in case I were to run into somebody while I'm getting away from a risky challenge. Streetsweeper, I have on the Duckbill Choke for the wider pellet spread. Ranger Barrel for the damage range buff. I used to have on the Task Force Barrel, but they got rid of the one-shot potential that this weapon had before, so it's better to have the range over the damage. 5mm laser for the best hipfire accuracy. I don't really aim in with this that much because what's the point? And 18 round drum, that way I can have the most ammo possible. I mean, the reload on this is pretty slow, but it doesn't really matter to me. Sniper class. I have on two sniper classes. The first one I have on the Serpent Wrap, or I'm sorry, the 74U rather, I'm sorry. But I do have the Serpent Wrap on it. I have on the Sound Suppressor, the Liberator Barrel, the Patrol Grip, the 40 round Speed Mag, and the Serpent Wrap. For my sniper, I have on the Tundra. Now, as of Season 3 Reloaded, the snipers do have flinch, but it's not that big of a deal. These snipers are still good, but honestly, they do need more flinch. For the build that I have on it, I have on the Tiger Team Barrel, that way I can avoid hit markers as much as I can. The Tiger Team Spotlight, in case I have this out and I don't notice somebody right off the rip, this will help out with that. Patrol Grip, that way it'll help with the sprinting move speed in case I have this out while I'm running. Serpent Wrap, that way it'll help with the ADS. Best wrap to go with, because this actually gives the best ADS buff now. And then Marathon Pad to help with the sprint to fire in case I were to see somebody while I have this out. Same tactical, and I have on a Tomahawk. And speaking of the Tomahawk, anytime I get raid, I swap whatever lethal I have on any of my other classes with a Tomahawk, because it's become kind of a tradition for me to chuck a Tomahawk across the map off spawn whenever I play raid. And then for my perks, I have on Flak Jacket to avoid nades, and then Ninja, because again, Ninja is a must in search, and Spycraft. That way field mics don't show where I'm at. And then for my other sniper class, it's literally the exact same thing, except Spycraft is replaced with Ghost. That is in case anybody were to have a spy plane on the other team. And then my last two classes are kind of like have fun / fool around classes. I have on the Sticks and Stones class, I do want to make a video on this eventually. I have on the crossbow. I don't have an optic on it. The iron sights are fine by me. Ballistic knife for the secondary, and then tomahawk for my lethal. Because again, sticks and stones, you have the crossbow, B-knife, and tomahawk, and this matches it exactly. I have on the smoke grenade, that way I can give myself a little cover for when I'm either rushing or if I want to get out of a sticky situation. And then for my perks, same as my first sniper class, flak jacket, spycraft, and ninja, although I will swap out spycraft with ghost if I need to. And then I have on lawbreaker to make this possible. And finally for my classes, I have on my cross map class in case I were to get a 6-man and we were going for Killcams, which doesn't really happen very often, but I want to have this just in case we were to get a party for that. Same 74U build as my sniper classes. Sigma, that way either A, I can destroy UAVs if they were to have those up, or if somebody were to hit a cross map off spawn, we can blow ourselves up, and that way we can get the kill cam for kill cams with friends. Now, in case we have to play regular search, if no one were to hit, I have on the stim shot, and I have on 2 tomahawks thanks to the danger close wildcard, and then field mic didn't change, and then I have flak jacket, quartermaster in case I were to either have a bomb defend or if I end up throwing one off of reflex in case somebody were to pop up right in front of me, and then ninja because again, ninja's a must in search. But that is it for my classes. If you have any other classes, or I'm sorry, if you have any other questions about my classes, or there may be something that I forgot to point out about it, let me know in the comments. But let's move over to my settings. Ooh, I almost forgot to mention my streaks. My bad. I run spy plane, artillery, and cruise missile in search. But if I'm playing respawn, I will swap out the artillery and cruise missile for an air patrol and a harp. But let's head over my settings now. Alright, for my settings. Now, before I start here, we are going to skip the KBM setting and the account and network setting. We're skipping account and network, that way I don't reveal personal information. And we're skipping KBM because I do not run KBM. I run controller, and I run just a standard DualShock 4 controller. I don't have a Scuff, I don't have a Battle Beaver, I don't have the back button attachment for the PS4. I just have the standard controller. Horizontal stick sense 12.5, and that is the same for the vertical stick sense. Not too fast, not too slow, perfect middle ground for me. Stick sense for ADSing, I have default for both low zoom and high zoom. Button layout, I have default, although I do flip these because this is something that I've been used to since Modern Warfare 3 when I started playing COD. And I had to start flipping it back in BO3 because that's when they made L2 and R2 the default aim in and shoot, respectively. Invert, I have that off. I only know one person that plays on invert, which is actually one of my IRL friends. Aim response curve type, I have on dynamic. Controller vibration, I have that off. Who plays with controller vibration on? Aim assist, of course I have that on, because of course controller. ADS behavior, I have that on hold. Same with steady aim. Armor behavior and attack vehicle control mode don't really matter to me because I do not play fire team or combined arms in this game, so we're just going to skip over those. Stick layout, I have default. ADS stick swap, I have that off. Left stick input threshold, minimum 10, max 100. Right stick input threshold, minimum 10, max 100. Trigger dead zone sense is 1.3. Controller sounds are off. Auto move forward is off. Auto sprint is off. Sprint behavior is go to, just meaning that pressing sprint once will let you sprint and then pressing it again won't do anything. Sprint cancel reload is off. Parachute auto deploy is off. Equipment behavior is hold. Interact/reload behavior is on tap to reload. Graphics settings, safe area doesn't really matter. It depends on what monitor you're playing on or what TV you're playing on. Colorblind, I have that completely default. Brightness, I have that on 50. Split screen doesn't really matter because I don't play split screen that much. Now, this part may confuse you. You may be wondering why I'm only running on a 95 FOV as opposed to a 120 FOV. Cold War is the first COD to allow the use of an FOV slider on all platforms. And since Warzone and Modern Warfare don't have an FOV setting on console, I don't really want to crank my FOV up on this game because it'll take me a minute to get used to the FOV back on Warzone and Modern Warfare if I were to go back to that after playing with a cranked FOV on here. So that's my reasoning behind that. For my ADS FOV, I have that unaffected. Same with my vehicle aiming FOV, but again, I don't play combined arms or fire team, so that doesn't really matter to me. And motion blur makes the game look like complete garbage, so I just have that off. Audio settings. I have to have the sound on, because how am I going to hear footsteps if I have it off? All of my volume settings are cranked except for the music. I have that turned down, that way I can hear footsteps easier. Another thing that makes my footstep hearing easier is the Super Bass Boost audio preset. Of course, you guys have your own preferences, but I personally run Super Bass Boost. Hit marker sound effect is enabled, and as of Season 3 Reloaded, you are actually able to change the actual sound that you get. Between default and the classic, you get the classic hit marker sounds that we all know and love from BO1 onward, and then you get the kill marker sound that you would get if you were playing Black Ops 4. Voice chat, I have that disabled, that way I don't have to deal with the toxicity or the racism. Although, if I were to be communicating with someone in game chat that I'm running with in my party, I will turn voice chat on, but I will just mute everybody else, except for who I'm running with. But voice and text channel, I have that on game chat. Oh, I'll even turn on voice chat if I want to try to get death comms for a video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about my classes or my settings, then you are more than welcome to ask me on Twitter or in the comments section. And if you want to see a setup video for Modern Warfare or even Warzone, I'll be more than happy to bring you guys that type of video as well. Just let me know. But anyways, that's going to do it for me. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I hope to catch you guys next week. Peace out.